what he's achieved and what he's done in Irish music. And we're very, very, very proud that he's here tonight to play for us. I know everyone in the room will be very conscious and aware of the opportunity we have to sit and listen to this man sing. Would you all please give a big Ennis Track Festival welcome to Mr. Andy Irvine.
Thank you very much indeed. And it's wonderful to be here. I say it's wonderful to be anywhere, but I'm really happy to be in Ennis. I haven't been here for a while, and it's a great pleasure. I'm going to start out with a song which I learned way back when I was in Sweeney's Men with Johnny Moynihan. And Johnny sang this song really well. It's called Johnson. And I actually found another version after that. And I changed the name of it. And it had new words. And I put it to a new tune, all in the hope that Johnny would never discover that I'd stolen his song. So it's now called Three Huntsmen. It's of three huntsmen brave and bold, as I have heard them say. They took 500 guineas, all on one market day. And as they rode home together o'er the Wicklow mountains high, it's "Hold your horse," cries Johnson, for I hear a woman cry. I will not stop, says Wilson, I will not stop, says he, and nor will I stop, says Gilmore, for I'm afraid we'll be. But Johnson getting off his horse and searching the woods all round, till he found a naked woman with her hair bent to the ground. Oh woman dear, how came you here for to span? Who that brought you here on this May morning, your hair pinned to the ground? It was three bold and struggling men, with swords keen in hand, who commanded me this brave morning, my hair pinned to the ground. But my father, he's a wealthy man, and your kindness he'll repay. And I place my life all in your hands, protect me, sir, I pray. Well, Johnson, being a man of his own, in valiant, brave and bold, he took off the coat from off his back to keep her from the cold. And Johnson getting on his horse, the woman got on behind. They rode down that lonesome valley, their fortunes for to find. And as they rode on along the way, as fast as they could ride, she threw her fingers to her lips, she gave three shivering cries. Out jumped three bold and struggling men, with swords keen in hand, who commanded him to tarry, commanded him to stand. Well, I will stand, says Johnson, I'll stand then, says he, for I never was in all my life afraid of any three. And Johnson clearing to them, not minding the woman behind, as he was at the other one, she stabbed him from behind. The day was free and the market day, the people all passing by could have seen this awful murder, could have seen poor Johnson die. Thank you very much. Well, this is a song I wrote many years ago when I was in Australia. I went into the sea, a place called Scott's Head, and I got into a rip. And I'm not sure if you would know what to do if you got into a rip. Maybe you would. I didn't. They said, you know, it was very Australian, said kind of, be very careful, mate, in case you get into a rip. But it never told you how to get out of a rip. And so I didn't know, and I was drowning. And I was kind of, it had come to a kind of point where I was quite enjoying the experience. But suddenly I heard this voice saying, over here, mate. No, it said it louder than this. Over here, mate. And I thought, it's God. And he's Australian? But it wasn't God, and I was saved, and as I spent that night in hospital, I wrote this song called My Heart's Right in Ireland in the Sweet County Clare. It's there I'd love to be. So long ago and far away, but nothing can compare. My heart's tonight in Ireland, in the sweet county Clare. In the town of Scariff, the sun was shining in the sky when Ray Clancy played his pipes and the tears welled in my eyes. Many years have passed and gone since the times we had there, but my heart's tonight in Ireland, in the sweet county Clare. My heart tonight is far away across the road rolling sea in the sweet little town of Amerikay, and it's there I'd love to be. So long ago and far away that nothing can compare, my heart's tonight in Ireland in the sweet county Clare. That August in Kilrush, when the rain was lashing down, and our hotel was that hay barn on the outskirts of town. We were all sick and feverish, and Dolan had the flu, but Johnny produced some whiskey, and the sun came smiling through. My heart, the night is far away, across the rolling sea, in the sweet little town of Amerikay, and it's there I'd love to be. So long ago and far away that nothing can compare, my heart's tonight in Ireland, in the sweet county Clare. Those nights in 6 Mile Bridge, when the songs and music flowed, and when it came to closing time, sure the lights were turned down low. And the sergeant from Kilkishen, he would buy us all one more, and we never left that pub before the clock was striking 4. Ennis, this Canner and Kilkee, but best of all was Milltown, when the music flowed so free. With Clancy in the county Clare, I'm never in your debt, for the sights and sounds of yesterday, a shining memories yet. My heart the night is far away, across the rolling sea, in the sweet little town of Amerikay, and it's there I'd love to be. So long ago and far away that nothing can compare, my heart's tonight in Ireland, in the sweet county Clare. In the days of Sweeney, in the sweet county Clare. Thank you. Well, this one is a song from County Derry about a man who decided that he wanted to be a world traveller, and he got up out of his bed and set out for the ferry in Belfast, meeting his girlfriend on the way. She was in floods of tears to hear that he was leaving, but he said, "Don't worry," he said, "I'll be back in a year or two and we'll get married and everything will be grand." And he got the ferry to Scotland, and he was, he'd been there about half an hour when he realised he didn't really like it very much, because the Scottish people were very angry towards him. And he got so upset, in fact, that he got back on the ferry and he sailed back to Belfast. And he was back in his town, Braccahill, after about 11 hours of having left it. And his girlfriend was thrilled to see him. She said, "Come on," she said, "we're getting married." And they went and they got married, and they stayed in Braccahill, and they never left the town boundary again for the rest of their long lives. But he's still remembered as the Marco Polo of County Derry. One night as I lay slumbering in my silent bed alone, some rakish thoughts came in my head, which caused me for to run, to leave behind my native town, and the wee girl I adore, to take a trip as I saw fit, strange countries to explore. And the night before I went away, I was walking over Bracken Hill. I met my love upon the road, and her eyes with tears did fill. Oh, Johnny dear, she says, stay here and do not go away. There'll be none for to comfort me or o'er the sea. Well, I took her by the lily white hand, and I held her long and fast. My darling girl, I must away, for our ship lies in Belfast. But if you prove constant, I'll prove true. You know I am well inclined. So we kissed, shook hands, and parted, and I left my girl behind. And it's when we landed in green offshore, the people all gathered round. They said I was a rakish lad, come to cut their harvest down. They told me to return home, and to never more be seen. So that very night I took my flight back to heaven's lovely green. And when Mary heard her Johnny was home, her heart it did beat with joy. She threw herself all in his arms, saying, "You, my darling boy, oh Johnny dear, I'm glad you're here. For you I have thought long." So let them all say as they will, our wedding will go on. And Bracken Hill is a lovely place, with fine wee girls therein. You'd swear they were the nightingale when they sit down and sing, where the salmon trout do sport about round Loch Ness verdant shore. So let them all say as they will, you are mine forevermore. at the sound check I was saying, no, I don't need that, I don't need the money, I don't need the money. But all of you people are sucking up the sound here. But this one is a song which I many years ago I was in Glasgow and I met this young man who told me that his father and his grandfather and his great-grandfather and all the way back, they'd all been coal miners. And he said the reason for that was because, first of all, coal miners, he said, they never got paid enough money. And secondly, a consequence of that was that when their sons were born and grew up and became about 10 or 11 years old, they'd be taken out of school and they'd get a kind of a small job at the pit head, maybe picking the rocks out of the coal. And for that, of course, they got a small pay packet at the end of the week, and that really helped the family to get through the week. And of course, having finished their education so early, when they were a bit older and a bit stronger, they became coal miners themselves, and that's why it went from generation to generation. And he said his father had made a promise to himself very early on in this boy's life that this was not going to happen to him. And so his father worked every shift he could get to make enough money to keep his son in school and later to send him to college. And the boy finally was able to get another job rather than a job down underground. I forgot what it was, but it was maybe a better job, maybe not such a hard, dirty job. And so I wrote this song called The Prince Among Men. His dad was a miner and his granddad was too. There was never much question about what he might do. By the age of 13 he had laid down his pen and become a coal miner and a prince among men. My goal as a young lad from a bright early age was to follow my hero down in that cage. Fairy lights and ponies were the stuff of my dreams, never thinking how hard my dad worked at the sea. Only a miner killed under the ground, only a miner and one more is found. Killed by accident, no one can tell. Your mining's all over, poor miner, farewell. Dad worked like the Trojan, his money to save. I'm afraid that he worked himself into his grave, and my schooling was paid for at the cost of his lungs. Dad was an old man at the age of 41. I never will forget how his face lit with pride. When I got my diploma, he was there by my side, and I tried to remember him as he was then, a rare moment of joy for a prince among men. Only a miner killed under the ground, only a miner and one more is found. Killed by accident, no one can tell. Your mining's all over, poor miner, farewell. James Doyle never seen much reward for a life of such toil, but I keep his lamp burning in his old Union car, and his bones rest here in this sunlit graveyard. My dad was a miner and a prince among men, well loved by his wife and his family and friends, and his hardship and toil gave me the one chance I had, and generations of slavery died with my dad. Only a miner killed under the ground, only a miner and one more is found, killed by accident, no one can tell. Your mining's all over, poor miner, farewell. Only a miner killed under the ground, only a miner and one more is found, killed by accident, no one can tell. Your mining's all over, poor miner, farewell. Well, right. Well, this is a song about the great magician and escaper Harry Houdini, and I'm sure everybody in the audience remembers who Houdini was. Died about 100 years ago, but he's still remembered. His name is remembered anyway, and he was some of his escapes. Well, most of his escapes concerned getting out of containers full of water, and one of the escapes he made in this song is that he was handcuffed, chained up, straight-jacketed, and could hardly move, and was put into a casket with about 9-10 padlocks on it, and thrown from a bridge into the river. And there was a huge audience watching this, and after about 15 minutes, the audience was very, very agitated because they thought nobody could be under the water for 15 minutes, especially chained up and locked up like that. And they thought he must have drowned. But the great thing Houdini had was he could hold his breath for much longer than any of us could. And after 20 minutes, he emerged from the sea like a sea god, you know, and the audience went berserk. But I often thought about that, and I often thought he got out of the chains and the handcuffs and all that in about 5 minutes, and lay there in the casket until but maybe not. Whatever, he was a great man, and this is the song about him. Harry Houdini, the handcuffed king, he could escape from nearly anything. His fame and renown forever at the summit, for if it could be done, Houdini done it. Hungarian born, taking the whole wide world by storm, getting Coming out of straight jackets and walking through walls. Houdini could do it if it could be done at all. He took 27 needles and he swallowed them clean. We examined his mouth, not a needle did we see. Then he swallowed cotton thread, what a magical blend. The needles came out threaded when he pulled on the end. Locked and chained in a casket underwater, holding his breath much longer than he oughta, accepting every challenge and he never would shun it. For if it could be done, Houdini done it. Jumping off a bridge with a big ball and chain, manacled and shackled, sure the man's insane. 10 minutes passed and we thought he must have died. When he came to the surface, his magic we cried. 40,000 people witnessed the affair. We cheered, shook hands and threw our hats in the air. And everybody wondered just how he'd overcome it. But if it could be done, Houdini done it. Locked and chained on a big wheel rotating, the buzz of the crowd is silently waiting. The world's admiration, Harry Houdini won it. For if it could be done, Houdini done it. At Scotland Yard they locked him in a cell, handcuffed and leg iron, thumb screwed as well. They said they'd be back in an hour or more, but he was free before they'd even reached the door. Oh, Harry Houdini, the handcuffed king, he could escape from nearly anything. The detectives, one and all, they were standing around, saying, God help us all if he's ever sent down. Locked and chained and buried alive, the audience afraid that he wouldn't survive. Whatever the risk, Houdini would run it. Or if it could be done, Houdini done it. In New York City he was all the rage, brought Jenny the elephant onto the stage. And he says, now Jenny, say goodbye to the crowd. She tossed her head and she trumpeted and bowed. But the audience said, ah, for heaven's sake, a disappearing elephant, give us a break. In the twinkling of an eye their doubts he banished, for into thin air the elephant vanished. Locked and chained and buried alive, the audience afraid that he wouldn't survive. Whatever the risk, Houdini would run it. For if it could be done, Houdini done it. Before he died he said to his wife, I've been escaping from chains the whole of my life, but now the greatest challenge that's facing me is escaping from the chains of eternity. So his loving wife and friends most dear tried to make contact every year, but Harry Houdini on that distant shore, obeying the concept of natural law, never appeared, no, never no more. Locked and chained, Houdini the brave, seemingly unable to escape from the grave. His fame and renown forever at the summit, for if it could be done, Houdini done it. Harry Houdini, the handcuffed king, he could escape from nearly anything. The world's admiration, Harry Houdini won it. For if it could be done, Houdini done it. If it could be done, Houdini done it. If it could be done, Houdini done it. Thank you very much. This is a song about really where I came into this situation. I was an actor in Dublin, and I didn't really enjoy being an actor in Dublin in the 1960s because all actors drank in Neary's pub, which was just at the back door of the Gaiety Theatre, and all the people who drank that, all the actors in the 60s who drank that, they were all really kind of actorish people, kind of, darling, how lovely to see you. I wasn't really into that. So one day somebody came and said, "What the fuck are you doing here? Why don't you come down the road to O'Donoghue's where all the musicians and the singers?" So that was the beginning of my life, really. And there I think I probably went in every day. I had an apartment across the road, and it was a wonderful place because Dublin was a bit of a conservative place in the 1960s. But inside O'Donoghue's was like a different planet. So this is a song I wrote about O'Donoghue's. It was August 1962, when I first set foot in O'Donoghue's, a world of music, friends and booze opened up before me. I never could have guessed as I walked through the door just what the future had in store. A blueprint for my life I saw lying there before me. Well, I was an actor, I played straight, I played in the Gaiety, played in the Gate. My mother in 1928 had trod those boards before me. I was getting tired of the company, an actor's life did not suit me. I said goodbye, you'll never see me back here in near East. Johnny Moynihan in his frosty coat was the first to play there in Marion Row. He brought the bouzouki to Ireland, you know, way storm along John. Paddy and Maureen O'Donoghue, Kieran Burke, Kelly Ronnie Drew, Barney McKenna and me and you in the early 1960s. Well, Paddy and Maureen, very, very sound, that you liked to camp on the moral high ground. You had long hair, you were outward bound, go down your blood red roses. Ronnie Drew in his fine suit of blue and a voice like gravel would touch you in two. We thought he was Dublin through and through, but he blew in from Dunleary. Joe Ryan and John Kelly in the front bar, their fiddles are from the county Clare. Joe Heaney sings in the cold night air, in the laneway after closing. Our sea shanties in perfect tune, and Seamus Ennis in the afternoon. It was all over much too soon, days of wine and roses. Well, Banjo Barney calling the tune, Mary Jordan's a whiz on the spoons, up the Swanee and down the Broom. Barney's rising to it, they carry him bodily out to the Jack, see it is his bladder, and they carry him back. He swallows his pint and he's right back on track. How the fuck does he do it? Any afternoon you might find there Luke Kelly in his banjo and his red hair. Oh, what times, what an atmosphere, what more could a young man wish for? How I'd spend my time was never in doubt. This is what life was all about, a bowl of soup and a pint of stout. August fog and eat shoot Marafoshe. Dave Smith never short of a witty phrase, Sonny Brogan laughed the way he plays. Ted McKenna, God bless the day of Italian mandolinos. At closing time we didn't go far, just down the road to the Pike Coffee Bar. The usual suspects, there you are. And yous know hounds to go to. Putting up a note on the message board, Sweeney's men have a gig, oh Lord. We have to meet at 12 o'clock to the journey down to Galway. But the Sweeney van broke down at the door, and we didn't get started till 4:15 to the merry tune of the Dolan snore. Haul away me Rosie. It all came to an end in 68. The rest of the world was lying in wait and started out for a new landscape. Set sail for the Pyrenean Mountains from the old North Wall, sailed away and all my friends were there on the quay. Won't be back for many's a day, but it was bloody great while it lasted. It was August 1962 when I first set foot in O'Donoghue's, a world of music, friends and booze hastening towards me. I never could have guessed as I walked through the door just what the future had in store. A blueprint for my life I saw lying there before me. Well, this is a song from County Antrim, and you know, back in the early 19th century, if you happened to be the daughter of a family that considered themselves to be quite kind of, and you fell in love with a boy who your father thought was below your possibilities of being married, he would buy the boy a one-way ticket to America. And that would be the end of him, because he'd never be seen again. He could never get the money to come back again. Great way of getting rid of an unwanted suitor. And I think that happens in this song, but it ends happily, whatever. Yeah, I'm not quite... I've sung this song about 10 million times, I've never quite understood it. It's called Kellswater. Here's a health to you, bonny Kellswater, where you get all the pleasures of life, where you get all the eating and fowling, and the bonny wee lass for your wife. Oh, it's down where yon waters run muddy, it's when I begin for to study. My mind is on them that's not here. For there's this one and that one may court him, but if anyone gets him but me, it's early and late I will curse them. The parted lovely Willie from me. Oh, a father, he calls on his daughter. Two choices I'll give unto thee. Would you rather see Willie's ship a-sailing, or see him hung like a dog from yon tree? Oh, Father, dear Father, I love him. I can no longer hide it from thee. Through an acre of fire I would travel, along with lovely Willie to be. Oh, its heart was the heart that confined her, and took from her heart's delight. May the chains of old Ireland bind around them, and soft be their pillows at night. reminds me of the charms of my dear. Oh, yonder my Willie will be coming. He said he'd be here in the spring, and it's down by yon green shades I'll meet him, and among yon green bushes we'll sing. For a gold ring he placed on my finger, saying, love, bear this in your mind. If ever I sail from old Ireland, you'll mind I'll not leave you behind. Farewell to you, bonny Kellswater, where you'll get all the pleasures of life, where you'll get all the fishing and fowling, and a bonny wee lass for your wife. Well, it's been wonderful to be here. Really loved listening to Paddy and Robbie, and you've been a great audience for all of us. And thank you so much for coming and being so good. A big thank you to Blackie and everybody who's responsible for the And I'm going to finish with this song, which is a song I learned most of from a great singer called Eddie Butcher from Gilligan up in County Derry. Eddie Butcher once referred to as having a huge abattoir of songs. But it's a song about a horse race that took place on the Plains of Kildare, probably in the end of the 18th century. And there are only two horses mentioned. There may have been only two horses, or there may have been a whole bunch of things trotting along that weren't worth mentioning. But the main horses were a beautiful filly called Miss Greasel, who was a thoroughbred, and all the rich people fancied Miss Greasel and they put their money on her. And the other horse was a horse called Stewball, who had a kind of difficult upbringing and was kind of smoked cheap cigars and used bad language and things. So he was a rough horse. But he was the poor people's favourite, and they had no money to put on him, but they supported him anyway. And I'm not going to tell you who won the race, because that would ruin the whole thing. But I will tell you that if the other horse had won, I wouldn't be singing this song. Come on, you bold sportsmen, and listen to my story about noble Stewball, that gallant racing pony. A half a marble was the man that first brought Skewball here, but to run with Miss Greasel on the plains of Kildare. And the fame of his actions we've heard all before. Now he is challenged by young Mrs. Gore to run with Miss Greasel, that handsome grey mare, with 10,000 gold guineas on the plains of Kildare. And the cattle they were brought out with saddle, whip and bridle. The gentleman did shout at the sight of the gallant riders, reviewing the cattle just as they came there. Oh, they all laid their money on the Monaghan grey mare. And the order it was given, and away they did fly. Skewball like an arrow, that grey mare passed by. If you had been there to have seen them going around, you'd have thought to your heart that feet mare touched the ground. And when at last they came to halfway round the course, Skewball and his rider began to discourse. Says Skewball to the rider, can you tell to me how far is that grey mare this moment from me? Says the rider to Skewball, you're running great style. You're ahead of the grey mare, almost half a mile. If you keep your running, I vow and I swear that you never will be beaten by the Monaghan grey mare. Skewball passed it quite handy. Horse and rider both called for sherry, wine and brandy. They drank up a health to the local grey mare, for she emptied their pockets on the plains of Kildare. bitterness, grief, memories I have of you. Don't leave me in peace. My mind was running back to the west coast of Clare, thinking of you and the times we had there. I walked the Spanish Point. I knew I'd find you there. I stood on the white strand, and you were everywhere. Vivid memories fade, my mood still remains. I wish I could go back and be with you again. In Middletown there's a pub. It's there that I sat down. I see you everywhere. Your face is all around. The search for times past contains such sweet pain. I'll banish lonesome thoughts, but they return again. I walk along the shore, the rain in my face. My mind is numb with grief. Of you there is no trace. I think of this again when I'm far off lands I know, walking with you by this cold Atlantic foam. Sorrow and sadness, bitterness, grief, memories I have of you. Don't leave me in peace. My mind was running back to the west coast of Clare, thinking of you and the times we had there. can't leave you without that nostalgia and sadness, so I'm going to sing a jolly song here to end on. I learned this song from the man who wrote it was, I never can remember his name, but he was the head librarian in the National Library in Dublin. And he wrote this song and he gave it to Eddie Butcher. And I learned it from Eddie. And Eddie coming from way up north there in the very north of County Derry, had an accent that was sometimes quite hard to get the words from. So quite recently I saw this man who wrote the song said, I wrote this song and I gave it to Eddie Butcher, and Andy Irvine and his group got it and made a pig's Mickey of it. So this is pig's Mickey of the song that he wrote. A long time ago in the County Mayo, me story it first began, before this country was finally cured by the first economical plan. A brave young man had to leave his home and sail far over the sea, but he got well paid in the job and he stayed on the shores of Amerikay. Well, he sent the... No, what? He got on very well, but he sent nothing home, and his mother began to think that maybe he'd run away with a blonde or was spending his money on drink. She wrote him a letter inquiring the news and sent it straight away, and upon the cover she carefully wrote, to me son in Amerikay. Well, the postman collected the letter she wrote and he drove in his van to Cork, where he placed it upon a liner in Cove that landed in New York. And there with the whiskey and everything else, the mailbags lay on the quay, and among the rest was a letter addressed to me son in Amerikay. Well, American postmen, I needn't relate, they are rather like me and you. And when at last to this letter they came, they didn't know what to do. They looked up all the official lists, but these had nothing to say. There was no directory could help them to find a son in Amerikay. And it lay round the office for years and years, and it gave all the boys a laugh, until at length it found some use in chaining of the staff. To every new postman who came on the job, it was shown as example A. Oh, insufficiently addressed to me son in Amerikay. Well, the son, he got older and wiser too, and at last to himself he said, oh, how are things going with me mother at home, or is she alive or dead? He walked round the block to the GPO, where he stood with his cap in his hand. By any chance there'd be a letter for me from me mother in Ireland. Oh yes, kind sir, and here it is, we've been waiting for you to call. We knew someone someday would come from Cork or Donegal, from the 200 million that's living now in the whole of the USA. For a mother in Ireland at last we have found a son in Amerikay.